Solving quadratics by factorisation. So we have these ones here to start with. X squared plus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So if we're going to factorise, we need two numbers that multiply to give us 4 and add to give us 5. And 4 and 1 will do that. So we can say this is x plus 4 and x plus 1, and that's equal to 0. We can now use the null factor law. So x plus 4, this bracket must be equal to 0, or x plus 1, the second bracket, must be equal to 0. So that gives me that x is negative 4, and this one gives me x would be negative 1. So now we have x squared minus 7x plus 6 is 0. So we want numbers that multiply to give me 6 and add to give negative 7. Negative 6 and negative 1 would do that. So we have x minus 6, x minus 1 is equal to 0. Using the null factor law, that means that x minus 6 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. We need to make this bracket 0 or this bracket 0. So this one gives me that x is 6. This one gives me x is 1. Here we want to multiply to get negative 6 and add to get negative 1. So negative 3 and positive 2 would do that. So we have x minus 3 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. Using the null factor law, x minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So this one gives me that x must be 3, this one that x must be negative 2. Now we have x squared minus 8x minus 20 equals 0. So we need to multiply to give ourselves negative 20 and add to get negative 8. So if we have 10 and 2 and make this one a negative and this one a positive, that would do it. Negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. Negative 10 add 2 is negative 8. So x minus 10, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So using the null factor law, x minus 10 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. So x will either be 10 or negative 2. For this one here, we want them to multiply to give 16 and add to give 8. So 4 and 4. So we have x plus 4, x plus 4 equals 0, or x plus 4 all squared equals 0. So x plus 4 is equal to 0, and the other one will be x plus 4 equals 0 as well. So x would be 4. Now, x squared minus 16 is 0. Now you may spot this as a difference of two squares. That's been mentioned in an earlier lesson. So it would factorise to this straight away as soon as we spot the difference of two squares. But you can use this technique as well. Just think about this as being x squared plus 0 x's, take away 16. We want numbers that multiply to give us negative 16 and add to give us 0. So negative 4 and positive 4 would do that, and then you have the x minus 4 and x plus 4 is equal to 0. Using the null factor law, x minus 4 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0. So this one gives me that x is 4, and this one gives me that x is negative 4.